Hello, my name is Bruno Maraka. I'm one of the directors of AFRM Claims Advocacy. We help families by making it easier and quicker for them to claim on the deceased's life insurance. I've got a few slides that I'm going to talk to today. It only takes about 10 minutes of your time, and it will discuss how we help families and how we can actually make it quicker and easier for them to claim on the deceased's life insurance. There is default or automatic life insurance in all super funds. Super funds such as AustralianSuper, Cbus, Hester, UniSuper, etc. all have automatic or default life insurance within them. However, less than 40% of working Aussies are aware that that is the case. So if we just play that out, Sally, who is working today, Sally receives an income and money goes into her bank account. Some money also goes into her super fund. And some of that money that goes into her super fund gets redirected towards paying for that automatic life insurance in her super fund. When Sally passes away, that automatic life insurance is available to her family or to a beneficiary. Now, Sally doesn't know that that's occurring. And as I said earlier, most working Aussies aren't aware either. So who might this apply to? So all families where the deceased is under the age of 65, i.e. of working age, and they come in to see you, the deceased is most likely to have a super fund and therefore most likely to have automatic life insurance within it. So as a funeral arranger, if you have a family come in and the deceased is under the age of 65, there's certainly a conversation to have with them to let them know that there's automatic life insurance within that super fund. Now, you might be thinking, well, perhaps the insurers and the trustees will tell the families, surely. Well, it might not surprise you, but unfortunately, that doesn't always occur. Well, first of all, the families aren't aware, but as we can see from this example here, and this occurred in May 2023, AMP were caught with their hands in the till, i.e. they were charging dead clients insurance premiums. Now, I think it's wrong, and you probably agree. So there's a responsibility and an opportunity for us to inform families, because I would prefer that your families receive the life insurance and super death benefit rather than the trustees and the insurers keeping it. Because it's that money that they receive and that conversation you have with them that's going to extend your relationship with them and actually ensure that they refer and remind other families about what a great service you provided. So what sort of conversation might you have with the family? Let's have a look. Here's a really simple conversation that we've created with other funeral homes. So where the family walks in and the deceased is under the age of 65, the conversation could go like this. Did you know if Sally had a super fund? And the family most likely reply, yes, we think she did. Well, Sally might have unclaimed life insurance in her super fund, which you might be entitled to. Would this be of interest? And if the family says yes, then you can provide Sally's family the flyer. And you can see an example of the flyer here. I can post you out these flyers if you don't have copies. But essentially, once you've had this conversation and you provide the family the flyer, as a funeral arranger, there is nothing else for you to do. Funeral homes that are using the service often have this conversation with the family at that very first appointment, often towards the end of the appointment, perhaps when they're speaking about the quote or the service fees. And it's a great way to give the family some comfort that there might be some money available to them that can either help pay or repay the services of the funeral. What happens after the family receives the flyer from you? Well, typically the family will call me, and they'll call me and we will have a conversation about them and the deceased. We have a two-step process. The first step is that we check if Sally, in this case, had insurance and super. And we do that check for free. because they've come from your from your funeral home. So we say to them, because you've come from Selwyn Allen, you are entitled to a free check of life insurance and super. So that saved you $880 because you're one of the families that belongs to Selwyn Allen. That's often a great value add for the family. We inform the family of what's available in Sally's Super and insurance, typically within 10 days. So whilst they're still arranging the funeral with you. The second step is, let's assume that Sally had $100,000 in super and $100,000 in insurance, and the family would like us to manage it. Our process to manage that $200,000 is that we will obtain the relevant claim forms from the super fund and the trustee. We will work on behalf of the family so that they're not bothered by the trustee and the insurer. We will help them complete the relevant claim forms. We will lodge the claim forms with the insurer and trustee. And then we follow up the insurer and trustee, follow up until payment has been made. We charge a flat fee for managing the claim. So in this case, where Sally's receiving, or Sally's family is receiving $200,000, our flat fee is $3,875. The family would like us to do that. We manage that for them. We certainly keep you in the loop, and there's a strong governance overlay here, of course, of everything we do is with the family's permission and consent. Typically, the time frame it takes the family, as I said earlier, we can tell the family within 10 days how much insurance and super is available. And typically for the family or the beneficiary to receive the funds, it's sort of been in and around 2 months. We've had one claim or a few claims that have landed under 30 days, but most are taking around 2 months. As you can appreciate, we also need to work at the pace of the family. So what have we spoken about so far? That essentially all families that come in to see you, whether deceased is under the age of 65, most likely have life insurance within their super fund. So by having that personal conversation and providing the family the flyer is all you need to do as funeral arrangers. The family will no doubt receive a lot of comfort from your conversation. We will make it quicker and easier for them to receive the life insurance and super benefit. It does make a difference. The average we're seeing is in and around that $200,000. And the family's feedback that we're having to date is, oh, the funeral home thought of everything. They left no stone unturned. They made this process so easy. One wife who lost her husband, he was the only one earning income in the family. She lost her husband and there was over $266,000 available. She said to me, I had no idea that there was insurance in my husband's super fund. And I've now got over 260,000 reasons to remember Michael Crawford's. Michael Crawford's the funeral home because the difference that it's made to me and my family. It's meant that she's been able to stay within the family home and not have to sell the family home because she couldn't afford to stay there. So it is significant, and it does make a significant difference to the family where they do talk about your funeral home to others and the difference that you've made. So just looking at and touching on that, the difference it does make and why this is important for your funeral home as well is because the first point there, you're often dealing with the physical, the emotional, and now you have a financial conversation that you're able to have with the family, albeit a very simple one, but it does close the loop on looking after the family from a total care perspective, the physical, the emotional, and now the financial. As I said earlier, because we're able to tell the family very early on how much money is available in super and insurance, it often means that they make a choice of a different choice of funeral service that they can afford rather than what they thought they could afford, because now they know that they've got some money coming and they feel obligated to spend that as part of the service for their loved one. It leads on the referrals and the pre-arrange, and I talked about the referrals earlier. We had an example there before Christmas where I looked after a husband who lost his 29-year-old wife. They got a 5-month-old. There was a significant amount of money available there, over $260,000. And the first thing he said to me after I told him, and he was quite emotional about it, is, "I've now got some money for the baby," which was quite emotional as well. But just after Christmas, I got a call from him, and he said, "Hey, I've just lost my father." He said, "You're the second call I've made today. The first call was to the funeral home, and it was the same funeral home who looked after his wife." And he said, and Mum said, "Give that guy a call who looked after Taylor's life insurance a call," and hence he called me. Now, I'm realistic to know that it's not just our service that got him to go back to that funeral home. It was our combined work. The funeral home did a fantastic job, which is Seaside Funerals in Victoria, and we did a great job as well, and that brought him back to both of us. And he has spoken to various family and friends about combined what we've been able to do to help him, his young family, and now for his mother with the passing of his father. And the final point there is that it's easy to implement. It's a conversation and a flyer. That's all you need to do as a funeral home. I hope that's helped, and I'm sure this could help some of your families where the deceased is under the age of 65. But before I go, I'm just going to mention some typical questions that I get asked. One, can we help terminal clients? So let me explain. If someone a family walks in to see you and they're making preparations for a funeral, then we can help them. The life insurance claim becomes a terminal illness claim. So basically what that means is that we can arrange for the life insurance claim to be paid in advance, i.e. before the loved one passes away. So bear that in mind. If someone walks in making preparations, we can certainly help them. Another question I get asked is this different to the estate, or does life insurance and super need to go through the estate? No, it does not. Superannuation has some superannuation rules, and essentially the rules are as such. If the deceased has a spouse, a child, someone with an interdependent relationship, or a nomination has been made, they are called a super dependent. So therefore the insurance and the super does not need to form part of the estate. The advantage for you and the family, of course, in doing that is, one, it's quicker and easier for the family to therefore receive that life insurance benefit. As I touched on earlier, it could take about 2 months. Often the estate, as you would know, can take quite a long time to administer. And two, we are a flat fee for service business. We charge the $3,875. Often lawyers who manage the estate charge percentages and hourly rates, and that can be quite expensive for families. So no, it doesn't need to form part of the estate. Insurance and super can be managed separately by us, and it is quicker for the family and cheaper. The final one I'll leave you with is, sometimes some funeral arrangers say to me, "Look, this family, I'm not really confident that they're going to pay for the service, whether it be that last instalment or pay for it at all. Can you help?" Well, we can, and what we can do for those is we can actually arrange for the trustee or the super fund and the insurer to pay us into a separate account, which is a lawyer's trust account, and then the funds upon receipt get distributed to the funeral home to make sure that you do get paid. We'll take our fee. There's an administration fee from the trust office or the lawyer's trust account, and then the family receives the rest. If you need more information on that, or you have any other questions, please contact me directly. Here's my contact details. We can also send you out some of the flyers that I touched on earlier. The flyers, all you need to do is send an email and we can arrange to have them posted out to you. Thank you for listening. I look forward to be able to helping some of your families. Again, most of your families where the deceased is under the age of 65 most likely have automatic life insurance within their super fund. Thank you.